I'll never forget the first time I met Mrs. Henderson. She was 71, sharp as a tack, polite as ever, but exhausted. Not the kind of exhaustion you brush off with a nap, the kind that sinks into your bones. Yet she insisted she slept 8 hours every night. I go to bed at 10, wake up at 6. I'm fine, she told me. But her daughter, who had recently stayed with her for a week, saw something different. Doctor, she said, her voice uneasy, my mom stops breathing. Over and over, sometimes for 30 seconds or more. Then she gasps, jolts, and it starts again. She doesn't even know it's happening. When I explained that this sounded like sleep apnea, Mrs. Henderson looked genuinely confused. But I don't fit the type, she said. I'm not overweight. My husband never said I snored. I've always been a light sleeper. Isn't sleep apnea for those big, loud snoring men? Her reaction is more common than you'd think. And here's what most people don't realize. After 65, the face of sleep apnea changes. It becomes sneakier, more silent, more dangerous. The symptoms shift, but the damage doesn't stop. In fact, it gets worse. What if the exhaustion, memory fog, or mood dips you or your loved one feel aren't just aging? What if it's something you can actually treat before it steals years of clarity, health, and independence? When most people hear the words sleep apnea, a certain image pops into their mind. Usually it's a heavy-set man, maybe late 50s, loud snorer, big neck. Maybe he falls asleep on the couch watching TV. But here's the truth. That picture is dangerously outdated, especially for older adults. In fact, one of the most common phrases I hear in my clinic from seniors is this: that can't be me. I don't snore. I'm not overweight. I don't wake up gasping. And yet, when we do the sleep studies, moderate to severe sleep apnea, clear as day. Because after age 65, sleep apnea often shows up in people who don't fit the profile. They may be thin, active, even health conscious. But inside, their airway muscles have weakened, their oxygen dips at night, and the signs are subtle, if not invisible. So if you've been thinking sleep apnea doesn't apply to you, or your spouse, or your parent, think again. It may not look like what you expect, but it's there, and it's hurting more seniors than anyone realizes. Here's the number that stopped me cold. 83% of older adults with sleep apnea don't know they have it. Let that sink in. That means for every 10 seniors walking around, many of them living independently, driving, managing medications, caring for grandkids, 8 are quietly struggling with a condition that steals oxygen from their brain and heart every single night. And because they don't fit the stereotype, no one's looking for it. Not their doctors, not their families, not even themselves. They say things like, I'm just slowing down, or it's normal at my age to feel tired. But what if it's not? What if what we call normal aging is sometimes the cumulative effect of years of unrecognized oxygen deprivation? Sleep apnea after age 65 doesn't just make you tired. It raises your risk of high blood pressure, stroke, heart failure, cognitive decline, even dementia. One large study from Michigan showed that older adults with sleep apnea had significantly higher risk of memory problems, especially women. And a new analysis of over 88,000 seniors on Medicare found that those who used sleep apnea treatment devices had dramatically lower death rates and fewer heart complications. So this isn't a nice-to-know condition. It's a silent epidemic that may already be affecting someone you love. Let's talk about the lie most seniors are told, even by well-meaning doctors. You're just getting older. You're more tired in the afternoon. That's normal. You're forgetting names or appointments. That's age. You can't focus like before. Everyone slows down eventually. But what if that slowing down isn't just aging? What if it's a treatable condition quietly choking off your brain's oxygen night after night? Sleep apnea doesn't always show up as loud snoring or gasping. In older adults, it often shows up as fatigue that won't go away, as memory lapses that feel like early dementia, as falling asleep during the day, even after a full night in bed. Take Robert, age 76. He started forgetting simple things: his neighbor's name, what day his prescriptions were due. His doctor chalked it up to mild cognitive decline, but his wife noticed he napped every afternoon and looked dazed in the mornings. A sleep study revealed severe sleep apnea. After just 2 months of treatment, his clarity came back. "My husband is himself again," his wife said with tears in her eyes. Research backs this up. Studies show that 70% of seniors with resistant hypertension, blood pressure that stays high despite medications, have undiagnosed sleep apnea. Other studies show that the brain fog, irritability, low energy, and even mood changes in seniors often mimic signs of aging, when in fact they are classic symptoms of sleep-disordered breathing. The good news? When treated, many of these symptoms improve. Instead of writing it off as aging, ask, is this sudden? Is it worse on some days? Could this be my body asking for oxygen? Because fatigue isn't always about age. Sometimes it's about air. Most people think sleep is when the body rests and heals. And that's true, unless your brain keeps getting suffocated every few minutes. In sleep apnea, your airway closes off repeatedly while you sleep, cutting off oxygen. Sometimes for 10 seconds, sometimes for 30. Dozens, even hundreds of times each night. But here's what most don't know. The damage doesn't just stop when you wake up. Every time your brain senses low oxygen, it sends out a distress call. Your heart rate spikes. Your blood pressure surges. Stress hormones flood your system. Your sleep gets disrupted, even if you never fully wake up. Now imagine that happening 20, 30, 40 times an hour. You may not remember it, but your heart does. Your brain does. Your blood vessels do. New research from UC Irvine shows that older adults with even mild oxygen drops during REM sleep, the part of sleep where the brain repairs itself, develop more white matter damage. That's the same kind of damage we see in early Alzheimer's disease. Their brains literally start to age faster. Another study found that sleep apnea accelerates brain aging by 5 to 10 years. Let that sink in. You may feel fine today, but inside, every untreated night of sleep apnea could be pushing your brain closer to decline. And the scariest part? Many seniors don't even feel sleepy. They don't snore. They don't wake up gasping, but they still stop breathing. They still lose oxygen, and their brain still suffers. Elizabeth, 82, had no sleep complaints. She was active, alert, until she had a stroke. Her doctors later discovered severe, untreated sleep apnea. "I was focused on my heart and cholesterol," she said. "I had no idea my brain was under attack every night." You go to bed to rest, but if your sleep is full of oxygen drops, your body never truly heals. Instead of restoring your mind, sleep becomes a slow injury, repeated nightly, silently, invisibly. We've all heard it. Sleep apnea? Oh, that's the loud snoring condition. And yes, snoring is one of the classic signs. But here's the dangerous myth. If you don't snore, you don't have it. Here's something most people don't expect to hear from their doctor. "We missed it." But that's exactly what happens with sleep apnea in seniors. Not because doctors don't care, but because the condition hides behind so many masks. Thomas, 79, had been tired for years. He saw his primary care doctor regularly. He had heart checkups, thyroid panels, depression screenings. Nothing explained his symptoms. No one asked about sleep. No one considered apnea. He didn't snore. He wasn't overweight. He lived alone. No one to notice the pauses in his breathing. And yet, a home sleep test later revealed severe sleep apnea. His story is more common than you'd think. One major study found that between 80–90% of seniors with clinically significant sleep apnea remain undiagnosed. even those who see doctors regularly. Why? Because the standard screening tools like Stop Bang or Epworth Sleepiness Scale were built around younger patients. They ask questions like, do you feel sleepy during the day? But many older adults don't, or they mistake it for aging, or they don't even realize how poorly they're sleeping. Plus, many seniors don't have a bed partner. There's no one to witness the gasps, the pauses, the tossing. Even more problematic, medical care is fragmented. The cardiologist looks at your blood pressure. The urologist treats your nighttime urination. The neurologist checks memory changes. Each symptom gets isolated, but no one connects the dots. That's why awareness matters. Because in this case, it may not be your doctor who puts it all together. It may be you. Asking, could all of this be connected? Could your fatigue, blood pressure, memory fog, and restless nights all share one hidden cause? Often the answer is yes. Let's say you've lived with sleep apnea for years and never knew it. You weren't gasping for air. You weren't groggy during the day. You chalked it up to age. But here's the reality. While you slept, damage was building. And it wasn't just to your energy. Each time your breathing stops, your oxygen drops, your body panics, blood pressure spikes, your heart races, your brain jolts awake, even if you don't remember it. Now imagine that happening dozens of times an hour, every night, for years. Over time, this repeated stress injures your blood vessels, weakens your heart, and accelerates brain aging. Elizabeth, 82, lived through it. She had no complaints, no warning signs, until the morning she had a stroke. Later, doctors discovered she had severe, untreated sleep apnea. I watched my diet, took my medications. I thought I was protecting my health, she said, but no one told me my sleep could hurt me. She's not alone. Recent studies show seniors with untreated sleep apnea are at much higher risk for strokes, heart attacks, and even sudden death. One large analysis found that consistent use of sleep apnea therapy, PAP machines, dramatically lowered death rates and heart complications in older adults. And another study from Sleep 2024 revealed seniors with sleep apnea had a 21% higher risk of hospitalization compared to those without. And the brain? Sleep apnea is now linked to early cognitive decline and even increased dementia risk, especially in women. Think about that. What you assume was just sleep trouble could be silently increasing your chances of losing your memory, your independence, or your life. The scariest part? Most of this is preventable, but only if it's recognized and only if it's treated. Here's the good news. Sleep apnea is treatable at any age. But here's the catch. Many seniors give up on treatment too soon, and not because they don't care, because they've been handed the wrong tools. You've probably heard of CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure. It's the gold standard treatment. But let's be honest, traditional CPAP masks can be bulky, uncomfortable, even claustrophobic. Helen, 77, tried it. She went through 3 masks, felt suffocated, couldn't sleep. She was ready to quit until her sleep specialist suggested a newer model, a mask designed specifically for older adults. It was softer, fit her face better, didn't press on sensitive skin. And with that change, she went from using CPAP for 2 hours to 7 full hours each night. Her energy returned. Her blood pressure stabilized. Her family noticed she was sharper, more present. That's the power of the right fit. In recent years, treatment options have expanded. Senior-specific CPAP masks, designed for aging facial features, skin sensitivity, and dental changes. Oral appliances, small devices fitted by dentists that reposition the jaw during sleep. Ideal for mild to moderate cases, and much more tolerable for some. Positional therapy, for people whose apnea worsens when lying on their back. Special vests or belts gently encourage side sleeping. Low-pressure PAP modes, Newer machines adjust pressure automatically and more gently, much easier for sensitive airways. And here's the key. In seniors, consistency matters more than perfection. Because the longer sleep apnea has gone untreated, the more time your body needs to heal. So don't let an uncomfortable mask stop you. Don't let a bad first experience turn into years of damage. Work with a provider who understands older adults. Ask about newer options. Make adjustments. Because the treatment that works for your neighbor may not work for you, but there is one that will. And when you find it, you don't just sleep better, you think better, feel better, live longer. Right now, I want you to pause and think of someone you care about. Maybe it's your spouse, your sister, your best friend from church. Maybe it's your mother or father or the quiet neighbor down the street who always waves good morning. Think about them. Have they been more tired lately? Forgetting names or misplacing things? Waking up more at night? Or drifting off in the middle of the day? You might have told yourself, it's just age. But now you know it might be more than that. Sleep apnea doesn't always scream for attention. It whispers, hides, slowly chips away at the health of people we love. That's why it so often goes unnoticed, until something serious happens. A stroke, a fall, a sudden cognitive decline that seems to come out of nowhere. But what if catching it now could change their future? What if helping them get tested, just asking the right questions, meant they live 5, 10, even 15 more years with clarity, with strength, with independence? It's not dramatic, it's not high-tech. It's a quiet act of care, of paying attention, of stepping in before it's too late. So ask them, share this. Say, I saw this and thought of you, because your voice might be the reason they still have theirs years from now. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, don't stop here. Take one step. Talk to your doctor. Ask for a sleep evaluation, or forward this to someone who might need it more than they realize. Because the difference between untreated and treated sleep apnea isn't just better sleep. It's better health, sharper thinking, more years with the people you love. This isn't about fear, it's about power. The power to recognize a silent threat. The power to take control before the damage becomes irreversible. So if you're still here, thank you. You're not just watching, you're changing something. And that may be the most important thing you do today. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with someone who matters to you. I'll see you in the next video, where we keep fighting for your health, your brain, and your future.